My name is Megan. I work at Graphic Art Service and Supply. I am the office manager there. So I had originally obviously worked with Express to get placed. And now with my position at my company, I actually work with Express to find candidates for my team. So some of the skills that I would say really help me and my team execute with excellence. I would say the top one would be accountability. I hold myself very accountable, which is mostly a good thing. And I also push very hard to ensure that tasks and different projects are also held accountable. I jokingly refer to myself as the cuckoo clock reminder of doom. And I am relentless with my follow-up, and I work very hard to make sure that nothing falls between the cracks. And so then I use the task list in Microsoft Outlook to make sure that it keeps popping back up. And then we play memory test. Remember that one thing? I'm gonna need a status update on that. So one of the processes that I have in place is Megan's rule of 3. And the third time that a kerfuffle happens, I go back in and I work with my team and my supervisors to rework whatever our procedure is in order to prevent that specific kerfuffle from happening again. And I call it the rule of 3 because obviously different things can happen once or twice, but once a pattern, for me 3 is when a pattern gets established and then something needs to change. And so then I go in and make that happen. Transparency is very important to me. That's part of the reason I like having, everything very visible, color-coded. It's not a secret where people are at on the project. It's not a secret what's been done. There's no shame in not having time for it. We just need to show that progress is being made, and that's very, very important to me. As I have been developing in my role, one of the most critical skills that I have been using and trying to encourage my team to use is a mindset on improvement. I am always looking for opportunities to change, improve, and become more efficient. I'm always looking at the details of different processes. I'm looking for ways to cut dead weight. I am trying to collaborate with my team and see and question what their part is in each of the processes so that I can better understand, okay, are we duplicating efforts in a different part of this process? Are we, double handling it when we could just handle it once? I'm always looking for ways to improve. And I would like to think that me modeling this questioning behavior and cutting dead weight is positively impacting my team. And I have seen some of my coworkers begin to think more critically about some of their own processes, which has been very cool and very encouraging for me to see. So I would say one of the critical components to me thriving personally and professionally and increasing value to my organization is leveraging my character traits, because every character trait it's like I call it a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. So any trait that you have, I think it's essential to look at what the positives and the negatives are of that trait and really look at all the ways that you can use that positively and push that. I'm very detail-oriented, which on the negative side can mean I could spend too much time looking at the detail because things aren't quite right, they don't make sense. But on the positive side of being detail-oriented, I have grown in my role essentially into project management. I have taken on a number of projects. I have learned, how to create organizational tools, how to facilitate collaboration, how to break it down into all the steps to be the easiest to delegate and, bite-sized pieces for each person to chew, or, what each one of my team members is best at. I can break the project down and assign it based on what they're best at. And then also, communicating the steps, writing very detailed instructions, and then following up to ascertain where the progress is, where any stumbling blocks are, and improve moving forward, any ideas for that as well. So that's been really, really fun for me. I enjoy that. As far as suggestion goes for young professionals looking to develop personally and professionally, I would say the number one thing to look for is where you're going to be working. You're going to spend 40 plus hours a week there potentially. And that is the place where you are going to have the most opportunity to bounce ideas off people, to get feedback. They're the ones that are going to see you on your good days, your bad days, and you can't plant a seed on cement and expect it to flourish. I have grown in this position because of the environment that I work in and the team that I work with, who are dedicated themselves to personal and professional development. And so if you want to flourish and grow, it's going to be absolutely essential to find a place where you're safe to be vulnerable, where you're safe to say, these are the areas that I'm struggling with. Can you please help me strengthen them? Whether that's just feedback, whether that's actual specific trainings. And I have found an amazing place to work that has allowed me to flourish and grow and see some areas of potential in myself that I never knew existed.